We don't get to choose when our bodies start breaking down, but we do get to decide how prepared we are for it. Most people think that working out is about looking good right now. And honestly, that's probably the case for a lot of us. And I'm not gonna lie, honestly, it's a big motivator for me too. When I wake up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror, I wanna be proud of what I've built. But it's not my only motivator for working out. In 2 weeks, I'm getting married, and it has me thinking about my future more now than I have ever before. What does my life look like in 5 years, 10, 15, 25? What's retirement gonna look like? Unfortunately, we don't have crystal balls to tell us what our future is gonna look like, how we're gonna look, how we're gonna age, or really how anything's gonna play out. You don't know what accidents, ailments, or diseases are waiting around the corner for you. But instead of sitting and waiting idly by, you can take action. By doing things that I say in this video aren't gonna guarantee your health or safety in the future. But what I can guarantee is that if you start working out today, you're not gonna regret it later on in life. The age at which you start losing muscle is obviously different for everyone, but muscle mass can start declining as early as 30 years old. And after 60, the rate at which you're losing muscle speeds up, and even more so if you're not resisting it. And the sad thing is, you don't notice that it's happening until it's too late. Whether it's struggling to get out of bed or get off the toilet, things are getting more difficult and you're starting to lose your independence. Around 30% of adults over 65 struggle to walk a quarter of a mile. Not a whole mile, not a half mile, a quarter of a mile. Imagine taking your kids or grandkids to a sporting event and you have two options. You either pay extra for preferred parking or you're gonna have to take a break walking up to the venue. That's the reality of not building enough muscle early on in your life. About 1 in 3 adults over 70 can't get up from a chair without using their hands. Make sure dad or grandpa sits in this chair. That way he can get up. I hope you don't end up at a restaurant where there's nothing for you to grab onto. Are you gonna make a scene when it's time for you to go to the bathroom? Are you gonna have to bother the table next to you to help you get up? That's the reality of not building enough muscle. And by the time you're 75, half of you are gonna struggle to even carry groceries inside. And by that age, you better hope that you're living on ground level. Because if you're struggling to carry in groceries, what's the likelihood of you being able to climb up a flight of stairs? And sure, I could sit here and tell you, do this exercise, do that exercise. But honestly, I don't think that's as important as motivating you to just start. There are endless resources in today's day and age. If you want to learn how to do something, it is quite literally at your fingertips. At the click of a button, you can find out. I'm not doing this to motivate everybody across the world. If this positively affects one person, then that's all that matters to me. There's a ton of statistics like I listed earlier. And we'll go through a few more if those didn't scare you enough. Nearly 25% of people over 65 use some type of mobility assistance, whether that be a cane, a walker, wheelchair, etc. And that number jumps closer to 40% at the age of 75. And sure, you could chalk that up to old age, but what's more likely? Your legs are weak and they can't 100% support you. But honestly, I'd rather you be balanced and comfortable than not, because the #1 cause of injury-related death in people over 65 is falls. Whether that comes down to a lack of balance or not, it all goes back to the main source of your legs not being strong enough to stabilize you. And sure, there could be other causes, but having muscle isn't gonna hurt. And sure, you can't control accidents, but you also can't control your genetics or diseases. But having more muscle mass improves recovery, bone density, insulin sensitivity, posture, and resilience. People with higher muscle mass have a lower risk for all-cause mortality, regardless of body fat. So I'm not even telling you to hop on a diet, I'm just telling you to work out. Like I said earlier in this video, you never know what's around the corner for you. But even though I'm thinking about the future, I know that working out now is going to help me on later in life, whatever the situations are that arise. I can't state with 100% certainty that I'm not going to need help with those tasks that I mentioned earlier. But I do know that I'm giving myself a higher percentage of being able to live independently, being able to recover from whatever may happen, and being able to enjoy those moments later on in life. You don't want to reach retirement and not be able to get up off the couch. You want to be able to enjoy time with your family, adventuring, whatever it is that you set your mind to. You worked all your life for a reason. So as a way to give back to yourself, take care of your body so that later on it can take care of you. I know this is unlike any video I've made in the past. There's no specific advice or challenge of any sort, but this is something a little more raw, a little more real, and something that becomes more and more evident as I grow older. You might be looking at the screen thinking, why is this young kid telling me what I should do? And honestly, I don't know any better than anybody else. But I will say that I see hundreds of old people every single day at my job. Sometimes I find out they're older than I think they are, but sometimes I find out that they're way younger than I think they are. And I see people younger than my parents struggling to do everyday tasks. And it makes me wonder, if they started working out when they were younger, would their life look different now? And honestly, I'm pretty sure that it would. If you guys enjoyed the video, click on one of the other videos on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.